Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean and this is In The Mixer. Our final season and our final week with FC Isle of Man continues today in episode 197. And the hits just keep on coming. We've got two huge games. First, we're going to bring you guys the Champions League quarterfinal and semi-final draws to see who we're potentially going to get in that competition. And then we're also going to play both legs of the Champions League quarterfinal. So we don't quite know who we're playing just yet, but let's jump in. Let's recap our results while that have been played off screen, and let's hopefully go through what we hope to get done in this episode as well. So, as you guys can see, we're still sitting in second spot in the Premier Division. 30 games played, 19 wins, 9 draws, and 2 defeats. Plus 42 goal difference and 66 points. We are currently 7 goal difference behind Manchester City. Both teams on 66 points. They have won 2 more games than us. They have lost 6 games as opposed to our 2. It's the draws that have kind of stung us a little bit. We have opened up a points gap though to Chelsea. While they have played a game less, 29 games, they are only on 57 points. So even if they win that game, they will still be 6 points behind. 2 full games. And as the run home is concerned, we've got a pretty straightforward run, to be honest with you. We've got West Ham, Wolves, Norwich, Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley, Southampton, and Watford. Arsenal probably the biggest side, and even then they're not having a great year, down in 14th position. We play 18th, we play 17th, we play 20th, we play 16th, we play 19th, we play 11th and 10th to close out the year. So it's a really fortunate draw. I think we can win all those games, but you know, that's always that weird thing, like you think you're going to go through and win matches, and then the 20th side in the division randomly beats you 1-0. So, you know, I'm waiting for that heartbreak to actually come through. We've also got Arsenal in the FA Cup quarterfinal. We will play that one off screen. The first thing that we have coming up is the Champions League quarterfinal draw, which you can see here. We're going to watch both draws. First one up is the quarterfinals. You can see the ones hidden behind my head here are Atletico Madrid, ourselves, Isle of Man, Inter Milan, and PSG. Over on the other side, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Real Madrid. Some huge teams making up the final 8. No real underdogs. Any of the sides we get is going to be a big challenge. Of course, we've played a lot of these sides before. Barcelona we've played before and beaten in this competition. Real Madrid we've beaten in a final before. PSG knocked us out last season. That would be a bit of revenge. Inter Milan, we played in the group stages and they beat us away from home. So there are some huge contests that could potentially come through. We're just going to throw on automatic draw and we're just going to let this one play out, and then we might jump forward and do the semi-final draw as well. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, first tie out of the hat. The second one, Atletico Madrid are going to play PSG. Inter Milan are going to play Manchester City, which means we have drawn the Catalan Giants, Barcelona. The first leg, it looks like it'll be at our ground, which will be interesting, which means the return leg is going to be away from home. So a huge, huge tie. All right, so we're going to play Barcelona on these dates, but the semi-final draw is also taking place at the same point. So I'm going to switch that one on now. So you can see now everyone's paired in 2 groups. So behind my head that you can't see, Atletico Madrid and PSG, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, they're the 2. Ourselves and Barcelona, Inter Milan and Manchester City, they're the other 2. And we're just going to sit there on automatic draw, which means that hopefully by today's end of today's episode, if we get through, we know who we'll be playing. And it looks like we're going to get one of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. So it's going to be 2 huge back-to-back ties in the Champions League if we're going to make it through to the final. If we do get to the final, it'll be one of Inter Milan, Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, or PSG. I'd say City and Inter are probably a bit stronger than PSG and Atletico, but having said that, PSG knocked us out last year. So there's talent all across the board, and the challenge has been laid down for us, which is a fairly formidable one, I'm not going to lie. It does mean that we are going to jump forward, so we're going to play this Arsenal FA Cup quarterfinal. We're going to rotate a little bit for this match. We're going to play West Ham and Wolves in the Premier League as well. Magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the Barcelona first leg, and we'll go through the squad and our results and all that sort of stuff now. Alright, so just like that, we're a couple of weeks ahead. There was an international break that I wasn't quite aware of because I wasn't paying attention to the dates when we looked at the fixtures. But we have played a couple of games. We won 2-1 in the FA Cup quarterfinal. Fantastic for us. We've got a semi-final against Chelsea. We'll wait and see where the dates are for, you know, the semi-finals of the Champions League, and then we might see if we try and bring you guys that game. Chelsea have been a difficult side for us in the past. If we look at our past meetings, we have actually taken the lead against them. They are one of the clubs that we have got a winning record against. I think Man City is really the only remaining one, maybe Manchester United as well, asides that we haven't, you know, won our head-to-head competitions with. You can see tough in the early stages, had a really, really good run, but then recently they beat us in the Premier Division, they beat us in the Carabao Cup final, as you guys saw in yesterday's episode, and we did beat them in the Premier Division in a very, very entertaining contest, 5-2 victory, but they are a side that is capable of beating us. That 4-4-2 they play matches up very well against our own formation, so a challenging semi-final tie for the FA Cup, and I do want to kind of try and bring you guys as much football as I can in this final season. In the other game, we beat West Ham 4-0, a very good performance. The only real dampener is Temperini picking up an injury that's going to see him out for 6 to 7 weeks, so he's going to miss both legs against Barcelona. We're also without the Pooch. He's suspended for this first leg. Jamie Warburton, Uli Schaefer, they're both doubtful with injuries. They're not going to play at all in the first leg, but potentially should be back for the second one. Maybe Schaefer's a bit doubtful, but we'll see how he pulls up. He is already back in light training. I'm hopeful in 2 weeks' time when we play the reverse fixture that he will be back into full training as well, but we'll see how we go. Looking at the team that we've got available, it is still pretty strong. So the Pooch misses out, Schaefer, Warburton, Temperini there. The Pooch and Temperini would start if they were fully fit. Schaefer is a bit of a maybe. Yusuf Balday's back and fully fit, so we're going to give him a start to see how he goes. He has dropped down to be 3-star current ability, which isn't the worst in the world. You can see 3.5-star current and 5-star potential still at 21 years of age. We need to get him back to the form he was in before he got injured. You can see his Premier League start was very good, 7 goals, 7 assists, 16 appearances. He had a good Champions League run as well, 3 goals in 4 appearances in that competition, but he wasn't great last time out against West Ham on his return and his first starting berth really since his injury. So I'm hopeful maybe this is the game against a familiar opponent. He played in Spain before with Real Madrid. He played on with Real Betis last season out on loan. Maybe a bit more familiar surrounding will get him back to some sort of form and fitness. Otherwise, though, Mancini in goal, Esteban and Gasmi is a defensive partnership. With the Pooch out, Gasmi comes in. Lucas Gabriel at right wing back, Carlos Andre at left wing back, full strength on those sides. Henry will anchor midfield as the DLP. Bradley Taylor comes in as the Messiah on support. He's been fantastic this season in terms of just staying happy and staying positive. He hasn't gotten upset about his playing time. He seems happily to be making, occasional appearances due to injuries, suspensions, whatever else. It's really helping us out quite a bit, and he's a fantastic option to have coming into the team. Cisse on the left wing has been absolutely fantastic of late. He has, in 30 Premier Division appearances this season, 13 goals and 10 assists. He's hit double figures in both. He's got 18 goals in all competitions, and hopefully he can add to the 3 that he's got in the Champions League at this stage. Blaze over on the other side has been fantastic as well. Balday and Olsen resuming their partnership up top. We are close. We're not far off. If Temperini and Pooch were available, it would probably be what I think is our full strength lineup. We're at home first up. We're going to go attacking. We're going to go after it as much as possible. And hopefully we can get a good result and carry it through to what is hopefully a less pressure second leg. I think yesterday against Juventus, we were under a lot of pressure to try and get a good result in that return fixture. And yes, we got it. But really, against Barcelona, we want to try and get an advantage early that we can try and defend. I think we've got the players to do that. Looking at Barcelona, they're playing a 4-2-3-1 because, of course, say it with me, every big team in Football Manager 2020 plays a 4-2-3-1. It is their front 3 that will do the damage. I'm going to be completely honest. There is one familiar face, Pablo Rivera, of course. He was an FC Isle of Man player for 7 seasons. He was absolutely fantastic. 120 goals in 231 appearances. You can see 4-star current and potential ability. They're not using him as an advanced forward. They're using him as an inverted winger on the right, which we never tried. He was always a forward for us. He was always playing off the shoulder, always leading the line. Had quite the career. We picked him up for 19.5 million back from Chivas Guadalajara in 2033. I think that was his release clause from memory. He eventually went to Barcelona for £60 million. I think we originally wanted like 100 and then 80, and then he decided that he wanted to leave once they became interested. So £60 million was fine. It actually helped us bring in the likes of Henri Blaise, who went the other way, came from Barcelona to us. And it looks like he's having a good season. Spanish First Division, 13 goals in 26 appearances, 6 assists, a 7.6 match rating. That's excellent. Champions League, 4 goals in 8 appearances, 6 starts, 2 off the bench, 7.26 rating. It would not surprise me if we see him score against us today. What will be interesting is if he celebrates, because I'm never quite sure how that's calculated in the game. Up front, they've got Damian Kalinowski, who you may remember we played against Brighton a couple of seasons ago. I've tried to buy him about 5 different times now and just couldn't get it done. He was the player that I really wanted to try and go after and bring across from Barcelona this most recent off-season, but we just ran out of money. They wanted I think £100 million, they wanted it up front. And they wouldn't let me structure the deal to give them 30 up front and 70 over the next 3 years, the way that we did to try and bring in some other players, which was difficult. He was excellent when he was at Brighton. He scored quite a few goals in the Premier Division. He's gone to another level at Barcelona, 21 goals last season, his highest seasonal return in a league fixture. Actually got 32 in all competitions for them last year, and so far this season, 16 in 25. Very impressive stuff from the Polish hitman. And then over on the left wing, the man that we've played against previously for Barca, he's kind of their star. He's going to play as an inside forward on the left, 30-year-old Francis Andre. Left-footed player, cutting in from the left-hand side, could be an advantage for us if his right foot's not that strong, but 4-star current and potential ability, 85 French caps, 51 goals. He's a very, very good player. 120 goals in 225 appearances for Barcelona. Nothing to be sneezed at either. It's this front three that'll really do the damage for us. Thales is a wonderful player as well. Palladino's excellent. Vicente Rey is one of the best defenders in the world. It's Barcelona. You've heard of him, surely. And they don't really get any worse as Football Manager continues to move into the future. Passionately, we're going to say we owe Barcelona after what happened in our last match, and I'm going to also passionately tell the defence, I have faith in you, get out there and make a difference. I can't remember what our last match was against Barcelona, I'll be completely honest with you. First highlight though, 2 minutes in, Blaze with a backstick ball, and we've managed to turn it home. Arnaud Henry gets the final touch on it. It was an initial ball in here from Blaze. Abdelkader Gazmi on a rare start filling in for the pooch, heads it back across goal, and Henry just in the right spot at the right time, side foots that one home into the back of the empty net, and inside 2 minutes, we have an advantage against the La Liga side. I haven't even had time yet to change the latest scores over to our Champions League fixtures. It is the first goal amongst any of the ties, and there is another highlight here, starting with Mancini. Back at Esteban, switch to the left, please. Oh, we had numbers out there, but it's a good ball to Gabriel, to be fair. And he's found Max Olsen, goal side. Can he find the finish? It's a good save from the Barcelona keeper. Now, Andre's going to get the chance to come the other way. Is that the end of the highlight, or are we going to see some more? Rivera cuts inside, back to Thales. Or Thales, I think he's Brazilian. I don't know how you'd pronounce that. I'm going to go with Thales, who cares? Andre, Fior, back to Andre again. Just stand him up, boys. Good tracking run there from Lucas Gabriel, pushes it out. Corner to be taken by Barcelona. Thales towards back stick. It's pinballed back across, and Kalinowski's put it home. It's, I think, a header from Foray there, or 4. I'm not sure how you'd say that. But his 17th goal of the season for Kalinowski. It's a decent little poacher's effort as well. Thales goes back stick. 4 puts it back across goal, and very similar to Henry, once it falls to him, once he gets goal side, he's got an empty net to slide that one home into. We spoke about his quality before the build-up. And Barcelona, since we scored, have really come straight back into the game. Couple of highlights in a row. Statistically, they've taken a few advantages. We're through 30 minutes. We're going to hit demand more. Let's just try and get through to halftime. I've hit that, and then there was a highlight that just disappeared. I don't know if I made the right call or the wrong call. But so far, it's on a knife edge. Both sides scoring from set pieces. And here's Blaze again. Wide free kick towards Gazmi, back post. It's just beyond the near post there. Keeper was scrambling to get across to it. Set pieces might be our best avenue to goal. We've had 8 shots, 6 on target, 43% possession. Barcelona, 7 shots, 5 on target, 57% of the ball. Not sure if they're still playing that tiki-taka style, but it looks like they are keeping the ball pretty effectively. Assertively, I'm going to say I'm happy with the performance so far, and everyone's responded positively. There are a couple of 6.4s, 6.5s that we're going to have to be wary of, but we're not going to panic too early. We're going to give it till the hour mark, and then we're going to have a look at making some subs, making some changes, and I'm going to stay attacking. We are at home. We need to try and get a go-ahead goal. Blaze here. Set piece delivery's been good. Finds backstick again. It's cleared this time. 4's going to get the chance to try and dribble forward. Just stay with him, boys. Don't do anything silly. Goes back to Ray, now into Humblet in midfield. Thales to Starico. Good ball over the top, but Lucas Gabriel will get there first. Can we go the other way? Ball into Henry in midfield. Back to Gazmi. Long one forward towards Balde. Knockdown for Olsen. Good overlapping run here from Lucas Gabriel. Can he get a good ball in the box? Backstick runner's there, and Cisse, and he clips it just into the side netting, the far post. If that had been on target, I don't think the keeper was going to get across in time. Deep throw in here for us. Carlos Andre looks up the line. Balde's there and flicks it onto Olsen in a great spot. He's got a bit of work to do wide right area. Beats the first defender though and forces a good save out of the Barcelona keeper. Out for the corner kick. Wonderful little counter attack there. Cisse to take. Left footed ball towards Esteban. It's cleared by Palladino. Gabriel picks it up and the highlight comes to an end. So we're through the hour mark. We're going to hit pause. In other fixtures, Atletico Madrid leading against PSG in their home tie. Inter Milan 2-0 up against Manchester City. I think Inter are kind of maybe the smoky, probably the strongest side outside of England at the moment. Carlos Andre's not playing particularly well. We're going to bring on Conor Medjidou. They're saying Cisse's not playing particularly well and Blaze aren't playing particularly well, but I don't want to make that change. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take off Balde, who's struggling again, 6.6. We're going to bring on Martinez, and hopefully the big burly Mexican can run amok a little bit against a tired defence or as the game opens up. And we're going to hold off on that last sub for the last 30 minutes. And I'm also going to use Old Faithful or Get Creative Shout with about 30 minutes remaining. We have taken the ascendancy in terms of shots and shots on target being had, but haven't had that many highlights. It must be said, it's a very tense fixture. We're through the 80th minute now, so we're going to hit pause again. We've got one more sub up our sleeve. Where do we want to try and make it? They're saying Cisse's dropped off a little bit. He's only on 71% condition. So I'm going to bring on Paul Harold. We're going to move him to be an inverted winger on support. And we're also going to assertively say, I've got faith in you. Get out there and make a difference. And then we're going to, one more roll of the dice with our shouts. Demand more with 10 minutes remaining. Everyone seems focused. And I'd love a go-ahead goal, but I would take 1-1. We can go back to now camp and try and attack them. We're through the additional time now, and the referee calls full time. So 1-1 in the end. We definitely had a much better second half than them. 23 shots, 14 on target, 47% possession. I know shots aren't everything. We didn't have that many highlights. We didn't have that many key chances, but we did have a couple of opportunities to potentially break the deadlock. 9 shots, 5 on target, 53% possession for Barcelona. Our defence held up very, very well. Gabriel, Gasmi, Arnaud, Henry, all amongst the best players on the park. So we're going to tell the team, calmly, you're unlucky tonight, and most have responded positively. But now we do have to go to now camp and we have to try and get something, whether that's an away goal or whatever else remains to be seen. But we can take, I think, a bit of credit from our performance against Juventus. We got a result away from home in the first knockout round. We can potentially do it, albeit against a higher quality opposition in Barcelona. In other results, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid played out a 0-0 draw. We will play one of those sides in the semi-finals if we make it through. Madrid held on to win their game. Inter Milan won 3-0 in their first leg fixture. Commanding victory. Gregory Francois sent off for Man City in injury time. Gasmi gets the man of the match award, which is great for him, but really what we want to focus on is getting everyone fit and ready to go for the second tie. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but we went back top of the Premier Division. I probably should have mentioned that before we got into the Barcelona game. Wolves randomly beat Manchester City. I don't know where that came from. We're all Wolves fans at the moment. They do still have the better goal difference though, so we're 3 points clear at the moment, but we are not exactly putting one hand on the title or getting complacent or anything like that. We want to try and keep our good run of results up as much as possible because City will be relentless, mark my words. We do have a game against Norwich. We'll rotate a little bit for that one. Away at 20th and Carrow Road, so I'm immediately going to go and switch us to positive because I think we have to play a little bit deeper to drag them out. But magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the second leg against Barcelona and look at the lineup for that one. Alright, I have to vent. I said jokingly a minute ago that we would probably lose to the 20th side in the competition. We didn't, but we drew 0-0. That shouldn't frustrate me, but they went down to 10 men in the first half. We had 2 separate goals ruled out for offside. They were both correct. We had 100 chances. It is so predictable sometimes with this game, particularly when you're the type of person that plays 1,000 hours of it each year. That again and again, you play like the worst team in the division. So Norwich's results. So let's look at Norwich. Have a look at their run prior to us playing them. Look at some of the defeats that they've had in that period. City beat them 4-1, Chelsea beat them 4-1, Liverpool put 5 past them, Southampton put 4 past them. Didn't matter if they were home, away, wherever else. They couldn't score, they couldn't defend until they get to us, until they get to playing the top team in the division. And then they go down to 10 men and then all of a sudden they're Barcelona. They had chances. They hit the post twice. It is just... This is the sort of stuff I was talking about the other week. This doesn't make the game more fun. If we weren't recording an episode, I would save the game, turn it off, come back to it tomorrow. It would make me not want to play the game anymore. Not because a great team that's in excellent form or that's been improving week to week has come and played against us and gotten a good result. That would make sense to me. If they had, like a couple of draws here maybe and then finally beat us, they finally got that good result for some good football. But not, they've been shit for 10 games in a row. And then all of a sudden, they're just the best side in the world when they come to play us. It's ridiculous. Anyway, rant putting aside, we've got a Champions League fixture that we need to focus on, but Sports Interactive, sort out your shit. It doesn't make your video game more fun. A couple of changes that we're going to make. So, tactically speaking, I don't know where this has come from, but apparently now, Jose Santana is a 5-star player. I don't know how, because he's not really played all that much for us this season. 5 sub-appearances, 1 start in the Premier Division, 1 sub-appearance in the Champions League. I'm not sure where that's come from, and I've got great staff. Arguably the best staff in the world across the board at everything. So I trust him. So I think maybe we're going to give him a start. He can play as a Messiah in place of Bradley Taylor. And he immediately goes to 4.5 star current ability, which is crazy. I think he'd prefer to play as the DLP, but I want to try and get Arnaud Henry consistently in that spot. Otherwise, I think we're going with an unchanged lineup. I think that's the one change we make. Taylor drops out, Santana comes in. Alright, so switching our focus to Barcelona's lineup. They're playing, I think it's unchanged effectively. 4A was good. I can't remember if we started the last fixture, but it's 4-2-3-1 again. I would expect them to be a little bit more attacking, given that they are now playing at home, given that they are going to need to try and score. If we score, they score. If it's 1-1, effectively nothing happens. We go to injury time. But if we score, I think potentially it boosts our advantage quite a bit to go through on away goals. So for that reason, because I think they're going to go a bit more aggressive, they are set to positive 4-2-3-1 wide. We're also just going to start on positive. If it's not working out, if it's not going our way, we will adjust and go back to our usual attacking structure. But I think we want to play just a little bit deeper. Hopefully with their tiki-taka style, their possession-based style, they'll come forward. And then after that, we will have space in behind for the likes of Balde to get into, for the likes of Olsen to particularly to get released into. Cisse and Blaze hurting them in transition. That's really what we want to see. We will see if it plays out this way. It could go entirely opposite and we're about to get absolutely torn apart 5-0. But at least we're going to go down swinging if we do. Passionately, I'm going to say media have given a lot of credit lately. I know that's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it consistently gets good results, so I consistently keep using it. We're also going to keep an eye on some of these other results. Inter Milan winning their game, or hang on, before we get into that, we've got a highlight here early. Henry looks to switch it across to Gabriel. Now switch out to Carlos Andre, fullback to fullback, side to side. Ball in towards Balde near post. He's fouled Santana, and Olsen's turned it home. Is he onside? The assistant linesman is running away, so I think we're all good. And inside 5 minutes, we've taken a 1-goal advantage. Max Olsen with a very important structure. We spoke about Santana and his development and how somehow he's turned into one of the best midfielders in the world. Balde there, that is intelligent as hell. Knocking it back to Santana instead of trying to force a near post strike. Santana's ball back in. I think it was a shot, to be fair, but Olsen gets a little touch on it and nods it home at the far post to give us a 1-goal advantage early doors and a 2-1 advantage overall in the tie. As I was saying though, Inter Milan commanding lead against City in their fixture. City will require quite the turnaround in the second leg. Madrid currently up against PSG 1-0 and still donuts in our semi-final potential opponents between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in that match. And we are through 30 minutes very quickly. We're going to use demand more. Let's just try and give everyone some focus through to half-time. And there's an immediate highlight here. Henry in possession from Esteban. Now Santana. Oh, he's lost out to Rivera. The Mexicans combine in midfield. Rivera with a chance to score against his former team, and Mancini with a huge save keeps it back in there. That would have been interesting if Rivera had scored where he was going to head off. Thales with the ball in. It's headed away by Santana again. Back to Andre at the edge of the area. Olsen with an excellent challenge. Now can we come forward? He's got Balde up there alongside with him. He's just flying through the middle here, and it's on his favoured left foot. Sevilla with an excellent save in the Barcelona goal. He was fantastic in the first side, the Barcelona custodian, and a huge save there for them as well. Cisse with the corner, but it's cleared away. Thales comes forward for Barcelona. It's weird to have your deep-lying playmaker on the edge of the area, but he seems to dribble the ball quite effectively. Cut back stick, Valderrama with the ball back across. Didn't have that much pace on it though. Mancini saves and holds. Lucas Gabriel's picked up a knock. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Corner here though, Blaze to take towards near post. Humblet with the header away. Thales can only flick on as far as Cisse. Tries to force a ball that wasn't quite there. We'll recover to Santana though. Now Carlos Andre. Back to Esteban. Over to the Pooch. Switch it to the right-hand side, please. If you get it from one side, move it to the other. We've got a 2v1 on that right if we get there quickly. Mancini. Back to Esteban. Still on the left. Santana now to Henry. He'll look for the switch, and he does indeed. Sends it out towards Blaze. Humblet's going to get there first. His clearance finds Thales. Back to Humblet again. Now Palladino in midfield. First forward pass chance they've had. They've found Kalinowski goal side. He's great in 1v1 situations, and he's found the finish. Similar, felt very similar to the first leg where we got ourselves an early goal, looked to be in a good position, hadn't really seen anything from Barcelona, and then the first highlight, the first chance that they get, Kalinowski finds a finish. And to be fair, he's a very, very good player. I would happily bring him in and play him every week in our lineup. But this is what happens when you play good sides in this Champions League campaign. They only need one chance to try and find a finish. And their first highlight has restored parity. So half-time, 1-1, 6 shots, 4 on target, 40% possession. 9 shots, 6 on target, 60% possession for us. There's a part of me, there's that little niggling part that wants to go attacking. But I think the amount of the ball that we're having, I think the amount of shots that we're having, I think the amount of chances that we're limiting in terms of highlights we've seen from Barcelona, I need to stay on positive, at least for another 15 minutes. Assertively, we're going to say, I'm happy with the performance so far. Keep it up. Let's go with that. And everyone's responded positively. There are a couple of 6.5s out there, a few 6.7s, nothing that we have to be too wary of. But as we always do, we'll give it 15 minutes, then we're going to have a look at subs. We've got to keep an eye on that Lucas Gabriel knock as well. It's important that we don't force him through too much and lose him for the rest of the season. Olsen here, good chance on his left foot. It was a pretty tame effort, to be fair. Werner with an excellent save. Wide free kick, Gabriel's going to take here. Plays it short to Henry. Switch was potentially on, but he works his way back to the Pooch. Now Kalinowski's tackled the defender. If we lose to a centre-back getting tackled, I will be furious. Kalinowski finds the finish, because of course he fucking does. Alright, so this doesn't kill us dead. Okay, so if we make it 2-2, we should go through on away goals. But, of course, like everything that can happen, every cliche, if we're playing cliche bingo in today's episode, like we've drawn with the 10-men 20th side in the division that lost 10 games previous. And, of course, our centre-back gets tackled in a Champions League quarterfinal for the second highlight of the game and second goal that Barcelona has scored. All right, so we're going to hit pause. Gabriel's coming off. Furkan Yilmaz. Yusuf Balde is coming off. Martinez. Henri Blaise struggling against his former club. You know what? I'm going to hold off on that last one. I'm not going to tempt fate that much. We're not going to make all 3 subs. We're just going to make the 2. But we're going to switch to attacking. We're going to passionately say, I've got faith in you. Get out there, make a difference. And maybe, if we use a get creative shout, Henri Blaise will respond and move up from that 6.5. Carlos Andre, ball over the top towards Olsen. He loses out to Ray. Kalinowski with the header. It's fallen the way of Palladino. Back to Humblet. Now Thales, who's getting a lot of space at the base of midfield, it must be said. Andre, flick on. Back to Palladino. Now Humblet. First real passage of possession that we've seen for Barcelona. All the chances they've had have been 1v1s and balls over the top. Good save from Mancini there, though. Ball forward here to Cisse. Flick on header might get to Martinez, the fresh sub. Henri looks for Olsen over the shoulder. Can he find the finish? He's shut down well by the defence. Martinez loses out to Starrico and the highlight comes to an end. Our Get Creative shout has now just gone through and most seem inspired, but we really need to create some chances. We really need to try and find the back of the net. Carlos Andre, wide throw in. Santana win possession. Back to Henri, who resets through Esteban. Wait for the press to come, boys. Make him commit men forward. Rivera with the challenge, but it's going to fall to the pooch. Switch out here to Cisse. What can we do wide left area? We've got an overlap if we can find it. Martinez with the goal out of nothing. The big Mexican has come off the bench and dragged us back into this tie and potentially put us ahead on goal difference. It would be ridiculous if we go through against Barcelona with both draws just on away goals. I'd take it, make no mistake. Cisse does well. I thought Martinez was going to maybe play it out to the Carlos Andre on the overlap, but instead gets it on his left foot and just rifles that shot back across the keeper to restore a 2-2 draw. I don't know. I'm having a meltdown this game. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're going to hit pause. We're going to take off Henri Blaise. Castro's going to come on, and he's going to have the opportunity to try and find a winner. The best form of defence is a good attack, so we're not going to really try and invite too much pressure. Highlight here. I've just hit demand more. I don't think it's gone through yet, but Mancini's got possession, and he's finding Castro on the right-hand side. What can the fresh sub do? He's played a reverse little pass there to Olsen. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's gone for a strike from a wide area. Maybe could have looked to slide that one back post. Cisse was arriving in the box. Castro with the chance from the set piece. Towards the middle, Zaverna with a good save. Comes out and claims. If he gets this forward quickly, they might have a transition, but we are dropping quite effectively. I think we're back in shape now. It's gone straight down the middle. Furkan Yilmaz runs to the ball and then leaves that wide open space for Paulo Guerrero to get to. Thankfully, Mancini with a good save. Terrible defending there from Yilmaz. Sprinted to the ball, left a massive gap on that left-hand side. Thales, Pooch with the header away. It's a good header too. Puts it into a good area. 4, puts it back across to Palladino in midfield. Now Starrico, defender stayed forward. The highlight comes to an end. Can I slam one more, demand more shouting here, lads, just to give us focus through to full time. 5 additional minutes, for whatever reason, have been added on. Fingers and toes crossed, boys, if you're watching along with us. We've got a corner here. Cisse to take. Humblet with the header away. Paulo Guerrero keeps it forward. They've left 3 men up front. Kalinowski looks to send Thales out on the right-hand side. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Just stand the ball up. Santana with a wonderful challenge. Finds Cisse. Long ball forward to Olsen. Ray with a good header. Soriano in midfield. Palladino now with the switch out towards Guerrero. Carlos Andre flicks it forward. Olsen again with the chance. Loses out to Ray. Out to the left here, 4A. This is the last real roll of the dice for Barcelona. Close down well. Just get back, boys. Paulo Guerrero with the header, thankfully, over the crossbar. And they said that was sublime from 4A. It was just a cross. I'm not sure what they saw. Highlight's going to continue here. Mancini forward from the goal kick. Henri out wide right to Castro. Has runners around side him, and the referee calls full time. We've gone through on away goals. We couldn't beat Barcelona in regulation time. A 1-1 draw, a 2-2 draw away from home. 12 shots, 8 on target, 44% possession for Barcelona. 15 shots, 9 on target, 56% of the ball for the Isle of Man. Passionately, we're going to say that was really special, lads. Nobody gave us a chance, and you performed magnificently. Best player on the park, Ruben Martinez, coming off the bench after an hour. An 8.1 match rating, enough to get him that award. We're going to check out the other results as well. Bayern Munich go through on away goals, so that's who we're going to play in tomorrow's episode. Atletico Madrid knock out PSG, who defeated us last year. Inter have demolished Manchester City 5-0 on aggregate. Absolutely ridiculous. Gabriel's out 4 to 7 days, so not too bad. We'll leave that one to the physio. That does mean he'll miss the FA Cup semi-final, which is frustrating. Kalinowski gets the Man of the Match award, an 8.8 match rating. He didn't do a lot. He only had 2 highlights and 2 chances, but he finished them both fantastically well. And we get FC Bayern or Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-finals. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Where is that game going to come, though? It's not for a while, so we're probably going to have to play the Chelsea game off screen, the Wolves and Fulham games off screen, and then we're going to come back and do Bayern Munich, both legs of the Champions League semi-final. Depending on the result of that fixture, will determine where we actually come back for our Friday episode. Our final episode, episode 200. That's absolutely ridiculous to think about. But holy shit, what an episode. As far as Football Manager Bingo is concerned, I think we've covered off pretty much everything that could potentially happen. frenetic. I'm knackered. I'm not going to lie. I am absolutely wrecked. I'm going to save the game. We're going to come back and play some of those other games tomorrow and hopefully bring you 2 fantastic semi-final Champions League ties or Champions League legs. I've lost the ability to speak, guys. It's draining. As always, though, you guys are going to have to tune in to see the results in tomorrow's episode. If you want to help support the channel, if you want to help celebrate the final week of our Isle of Man series, you can drop a like on this video. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release right up until Football Manager 2021 and straight into our beta save as soon as that game is out as well. More than anything, though, guys, I just appreciate you watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.